Welcome back to Dinar Flash News. Today's broadcast focuses on what is being characterized as one of the most significant and historic validations ever observed within the international currency and asset community. For all viewers, it is imperative to pay close attention as we detail developments possessing the potential to fundamentally alter expectations and redefine the timelines monitored for so long. We are examining a transition that progresses beyond mere speculation into the concrete domain of regulatory approval. For an extended period, the community has been saturated with rumors, confidential leaks, and fervent discussion concerning potential behind-the-scenes activities. However, the story has transformed with the latest release in the official Government Gazette. This publication acts as a formal authentication of the entire redemption procedure, shifting the dialogue from theoretical potential to an authorized, recognized fact. The importance of this confirmation is immense, especially considering the medium of its dissemination. A Government Gazette functions as the primary legal record for state proceedings, meaning any information published within it carries the full authority of law and regulatory adherence. By recording the redemption sequence in this forum, the authorities have effectively transitioned the process from the obscurity of informal forums into the clarity of public administrative documentation. For investors who have navigated a terrain frequently obscured by uncertainty, this offers a foundation of legitimacy previously missing. It indicates that the rigorous stages of strategy, legal drafting, and interagency collaboration have reached their conclusion. We must appreciate that this publication accomplishes more than just acknowledging an existing process. It codifies the complete, structured protocols now prepared for activation. For years, individuals classified under Tier 4B have existed in a state of anticipation, dependent on partial information and optimistic analyses of international events. The Gazette's confirmation entirely reclassifies the redemption sequence's nature. It signifies that the requisite verification processes, compliance audits, and validation mechanisms have been finalized by the appropriate regulatory entities. This suggests the banking sector, along with authorized exchange centers, has received the official directive to synchronize their internal procedures with this new public legal structure. For the community of Iraqi Dinar holders, this development constitutes a monumental advance, justifying the extensive patience needed to maintain these assets. Many investors have encountered skepticism, criticism, and misunderstanding from external parties who fail to comprehend the intricate details of the revaluation and redemption process. Today's confirmation stands as proof that the underlying planning was indeed substantive. The coordination was persistent, and the system has ultimately reached the required state of preparedness. It validates the concept that this was never a disorganized or random occurrence, but a meticulously orchestrated financial operation demanding precise conditions be met before public authorization. To fully comprehend the scale of today's announcement, we must examine what the Tier 4B designation signifies in the wider asset redemption context. This category is not a public, unstructured event. It is among the most scrutinized and regulated classifications in the global financial system. Investors in this tier have generally undergone multiple forms of verification, documentation reviews, and asset validation to confirm legitimacy. The Gazette's confirmation is pivotal because it authenticates the entire support framework constructed for these investors. It confirms that the years dedicated to compliance and regulatory observance were intentional. The timing of this release is another element demanding thorough examination. Government regulators and financial authorities do not issue sensitive operational details in a Gazette without cause. Such an action indicates all internal procedures have harmonized to a state of operational readiness. It implies that legal endorsements, interbank agreements, international collaboration, and both digital and physical infrastructures are completely synchronized. This degree of alignment suggests the massive behind-the-scenes preparation, likely spanning years, has entered its final phase. Financial systems require stress testing and compliance frameworks need verification before a large-scale redemption is authorized. For holders of the Iraqi Dinar, this is perhaps the most potent indicator that the long-anticipated shift is now a concrete reality. The confirmation indicates the logistical machinery of the redemption process is now operational. This means appointment scheduling systems are probably being activated, and banks are assuming their formal operational duties, while specific scheduling information will be communicated through official banking channels. The Gazette's confirmation signifies the conclusion of the passive waiting period and the start of the active participation phase. The transition from a holding pattern to an active redemption environment is a significant change, requiring investors to adjust their mindset from patience to preparedness. Let us ponder the implications for the investors who have endured this journey for years. Some entered this arena long before global recognition or supportive government structure existed for their holdings, while others joined as the narrative evolved. Regardless of their entry point, the emotional and psychological burden of uncertainty has been considerable. For many, this was not just a financial venture but a test of faith in a process often lacking visibility. Today's confirmation provides the single element absent for so long: certainty. The issue of legitimacy has been resolved by the public record. Moving forward, it is crucial for every viewer to embrace a mindset of sharp focus and meticulous preparation. The Gazette confirmation provides clarity on the redemption sequence's nature, portraying it as a comprehensive, structured, and legally sanctioned process. It is not depicted as a limited exchange or a speculative test, but as a full implementation meant to convert approved Tier 4B assets into their designated values. This includes physical currencies such as the Iraqi Dinar alongside other verified holdings. The procedure will not be a disorganized rush but will incorporate tiers, phases, and scheduled appointments to guarantee security, precision, and strict compliance. For holders of physical Iraqi Dinar notes, the specifics of this confirmation are especially critical. A principal concern for financial institutions is the authenticity and state of the physical currency. Banks and exchange centers are obligated to ensure every note presented is genuine, legally acquired, and adequately preserved. When appointment schedules commence, physical currency will undergo stringent examination, including inspections of security features, serial number sequences, and physical condition. The Gazette confirmation officially authorizes banks to conduct these checks as part of the formal redemption sequence. Digital asset holders within the Tier 4B category are equally part of this historic transition. Many investors maintain positions through digital confirmations or officially registered accounts not involving physical notes. For those individuals, the bank's focus will be on electronic verification. This will entail cross-referencing account identifiers, digital statements, and verification codes against the bank's internal records to prove legitimate ownership. With the Gazette confirming the process, digital systems across financial institutions are likely synchronizing to accept these verification requests. A predominant theme emerging from this confirmation is the government's total commitment to security. In any large-scale financial operation involving international currencies and cross-border cooperation, security is the highest priority. The Gazette confirmation indicates that strict protocols will be enforced at every stage of the redemption. Banks will employ secure verification systems, appointment details will be highly protected, and exchanges will happen in controlled settings. This security focus is designed to protect both the institution and the investor. However, it also demands the investor exercise extreme vigilance. The psychological shift enabled by this confirmation is profound. Investors who have held these assets have endured one of the longest and most emotionally draining waiting periods in modern finance. The fluctuation between hope and doubt has been a constant for many. Today's Gazette confirmation serves as a stabilizer, providing a foundation of clarity that allows the stress of uncertainty to fade. This journey has often been personal, symbolizing perseverance and a belief in a long-term vision. The official validation transforms rumors into reality, permitting investors to proceed with confidence. The global visibility of this update is another factor strengthening the investor's position. When information is published in a government gazette, it enters the public record, visible to international financial institutions, currency analysts, and global regulators. This transparency boosts the credibility of the entire project on a worldwide scale. For Iraqi Dinar holders, This is critical as it counters narratives questioning the asset's legitimacy. The confirmation shows the process is regulated and acknowledged at the highest official levels. As we consider the logistics of scheduling, it is important to manage expectations about how appointments will proceed. While the Gazette confirms the sequence, individual appointment dates will be communicated directly by banks and authorized centers via secure methods. The rollout will likely happen in phases to avoid overloading the financial infrastructure. It is reasonable to assume high-volume investors may be scheduled first due to their complex compliance needs, followed by other tiers in an organized manner. The essential point is that every verified investor will have an opportunity to participate. Documentation preparation is the immediate task for all investors. At a minimum, everyone should have a valid, government-issued ID, proof of residency, and original documents associated with their asset holdings. For physical currency holders, organizing notes by denomination and serial number can greatly accelerate the bank's verification process. For digital holders, having printed backups of statements and access details is vital. Some banks might require secondary identification, such as utility bills, so having these ready is a prudent measure. The security protocols during the actual exchange appointment will be stringent. Financial institutions are legally required to document each transaction step for compliance. Investors should anticipate a multi-stage process involving identity verification, asset authentication, and a review of fund origins. The process will likely be recorded or documented within the bank's secure systems to ensure transparency. The presence of security personnel or the use of secure rooms is standard for high-value operations and should be viewed as a protective measure. We must also consider the operational reality for the financial institutions themselves. Banks have prepared for this moment by updating systems, training staff on specific compliance modules, and integrating new verification tools. The Gazette confirmation signals these internal preparations are complete and institutions are moving to execution mode. This is a massive logistical endeavor involving coordinated scheduling and exact communication. For the banks, accuracy is absolute. With the official confirmation established, investors must also start considering the post-redemption reality. A successfully executed exchange has the potential to change the financial direction of many families. However, it is essential to approach this transition with the sense of responsibility. Planning ahead, avoiding impulsive financial decisions immediately after the exchange, and seeking professional financial advice are wise steps. This is a time to concentrate on long-term stability rather than short-term reaction. It is impossible to disregard the risk of misinformation during this critical period. Now that the Gazette has validated the process, the amount of noise, rumors, and scams may escalate. Investors must remain disciplined and ignore unauthorized sources. There is no such thing as early access sold by a third party, nor are special privileges available for payment. The process is strictly regulated, and the only path forward is through official banking channels. The transparency shown by the government in publishing this process via the Gazette is a positive sign for the future. By making the redemption sequence a matter of public record, the authorities demonstrate a commitment to openness and fairness. This removes the need for the process to be concealed and ensures it is governed by law. This level of transparency helps stabilize expectations and builds trust between the investor community and regulatory bodies. As we enter the final stages before full activation, the focus must be on the last mile of preparation. This is the moment to double-check every record, locate every document, and ensure assets are secure and accessible. Any missing paperwork should be replaced immediately. Any digital records should be backed up. The more thorough the preparation now, the quicker the redemption appointment will be later. This is the final chance to get organized before the scheduling phase begins in earnest. Coordination between various institutions will intensify in the coming days. Banks, regulators, security agencies, and government departments will be working in unison to ensure a stable rollout. Investors should expect clear, structured communication detailing the specific steps they need to take. These instructions will likely be simple yet precise, and following them exactly is critical. There may be waiting periods as the system scales up, which is normal for an operation of this magnitude. Finally, this confirmation sets a precedent for how future financial programs may be managed. The successful, transparent execution of this redemption process demonstrates that governments and banks can coordinate major financial transitions effectively. For the Iraqi Dinar specifically, it represents the culmination of a long road to recognition. For the global community, it signals a new era of compliance-based asset redemption. This moment is historic not only for its immediate impact but for the standard it establishes for the future. The world is watching, the system is active, and the process is unfolding. Investors have reached the turning point they have awaited for years, and the path forward is now paved with official authorization. Stay prepared, stay informed, and trust the official process. This is Dinar Flash News signing off.